Hares to Bugs, a Bugs Bunny celebration, is a brand new documentary by MeTV Toons, which you can watch right now over on that network. And they just had their first ever Comic-Con panel. So, of course, you realize this means podcast.
Are you ready, eager young space cadets?
Meep, meep.
I saw Porky Pig.
Here's the limit.
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Hello, Toon fans. It's me, Jonathan Graves, and I'm just giving you a small intro before I just play the entire audio from the panel over at Comic-Con from yesterday's MeTV Toons celebration around Bugs Bunny and the network itself. Head on over to that website and you can find local listings and where to watch this documentary called Hares to Bugs. It is a wonderful celebration, but they're also doing a marathon of Bugs Bunny shorts. It stretches from the early 1940s all the way up until recent stuff. It's crazy. So go check that out. I was unable to be at Comic-Con this year because we have a baby coming and I needed to be here with my wife, but I was able to call in a friend, the Tooney Tenor. Thank you, Emmanuel, for covering Comic-Con for me. And he was able to get into the panel. So without further delay, here is the panel discussion around MeTV Toons, Bugs Bunny, Saturday morning cartoons, favorite cereals to eat. I mean, they talk about everything we love. So get ready and enjoy.
Thank you for the single applause. Yeah, there we go. Come on, everybody. Comic-Con, look alive! Happy Friday! We're talking animated shows, we're talking cartoons, we're talking about our favorite topic in the world! We're talking MeTV Toons, yeah! I'm your friendly moderator, I'm Variety TV editor Michael Schneider, and thank you for joining us for MeTV Toons! We're going to talk about this new network that's just launched, and we're going to be exclusively talking about the best in classic animation coming to MeTV Toons. We've got some great voice actors. We've got the head of MeTV Toons. We've got a lot to share. So let me bring out our panelists right now. First up, he is a voice actor, and he is the official voice of MeTV Toons. You know him as Porky Pig and so much more, Bob Bergen. Next up, no one knows more about animation than this guy, historian Jerry Beck. He has not one, but 2 Emmys for his voice work. He's done all sorts of things, including Bugs and Daffy and so much more. Emmy award-winning voice actor Eric Bauza. He is a veteran voice actor who's done it all, Bugs Bunny, you name it. He's the guy who tracked down Mel Blanc and it changed his life. The one and only Jeff Bergman. Her IMDb goes for pages. She's done so much, just in Looney Tunes alone, you know her as Granny and Witch Hazel and so much more. Candy Milo. And this is the guy who makes it happen. He's got all the stories about how MeTV Toons happened. He is Weigel Broadcasting's Vice Chairman, Neil Sabin. All right, everyone's here to hear from Neil, so I'm going to start with you, Neil Sabin. Give us the story of MeTV Toons and how you took MeTV, which has been a successful network for so long, and spun it off with this new cartoon-focused network.
Well, I've always been a giant fan of cartoons. I started my career actually showing cartoons for kids' birthday parties many, many years ago before anybody had a VCR to show them on. And I started MeTV nationally about 15 years ago and always wanted to have animation on MeTV. We finally got it done. It It was a giant hit on Saturday mornings and our Tune In With Me show as well. And the thought about a year ago was, let's think about doing this as a full-time network if we can get the best of the best animation. And we have, and we did, and we do.
Neil, I'm going to have to talk to you offline. I want to hear more about you just taking cartoons and going to random kids' houses. But whatever worked, whatever is your origin story, we all have our own origin stories. But you know, what I've always loved about MeTV is that it does remind me of the glory days of television, the television that I grew up with, that a lot of us grew up with. And then you created the Saturday morning block, which of course is a throwback to how we all watched cartoons back in the day. Shout out to Saturday mornings.
And what you bring up a really good point, Michael. What our network is all about is the traditional linear watching television together with your friends, your family, and a community where we're all watching the same thing at the same time. And I know that's very old school. Our programming is old school, and we really believe that this is a destination that should be watched that way, enjoyed that way. In this crazy world, you can tune into MeTV Toons and escape it all and enjoy yourself without having a password, a username, or any other problems that you might have.
You don't have to share passwords anymore, guys.
No pop-up ads.
It's for everyone.
This is what I love about Comic-Con, by the way. We just clapped for Saturday morning. And we clapped for no passwords.
Yeah. Hashtag no passwords.
Let's get that trending right now.
Password-free community.
And one other thing, Neil, that we should talk about is you're creating all these interstitials. You're creating all these sort of add-ons to what MeTV Toons is going to offer.
Right. Well, we are celebrating classic American animation. It's an art form that we believe has been kind of ignored or not celebrated as it should be. And part of that is presenting interstitial elements about animation. And Jerry Beck, who you're going to be talking to in a minute, is writing many, many of these. In fact, I would call him every once in a while and say, like, you know, when Lucy was on the conveyor belt, I'd say, speed it up. Yeah. Right, Jerry?
Yes, you did. And I want to give you the best work. And what we do is should we talk about the cartoon college right now?
Yes,
That's one of our segments, the interstitial segments. You'll see at least one or two per hour, it seems that way. They are behind the scenes tidbits, explanations, who the characters are, why is this cartoon called that, who's the person who did the music in this cartoon, everything you can think of to dissect the cartoon, to make the cartoons funnier for you, and to explain some of the things, the outdated references, and open the door, Richard, and all that stuff that you see in the classic Looney Tunes.
That's why we want to do more than just present the cartoons. This is a network that celebrates them, educates them. We curate, to use a big word today, we curate them. If I can figure out how to use iconic, I would do that too, because there's another overused word today. Anyhow.
Well, you mentioned Cartoon College. There's Quick Shticks, there's Tunes, there's MeTV Toons Trivia. So you've kind of you really stacked the deck with a lot of kind of fun things to kick off this network with.
Right. We want to be different. That's part of what this is about. There are other places you can see these cartoons, but we want to create material that's exclusive to us, that enhances the experience of watching MeTV Toons.
So Bob, and by the way, you got the memo. You are the best dressed up here on this panel by far.
Thank you. Basically, this is MeTV Toons.
All in one shirt. I do love it. So you are the voice of MeTV Toons.
I am.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I'd say about 90% of it sounds like this. Well, watch classic animation on MeTV Toons. But going back to Cartoon College, which Jerry writes, which are wonderful, educational, entertaining interstitials. First day of recording it, the dialogue was, "Welcome to Cartoon College, today's subject is." And I was like, well, he is a college professor. So I decided to make him a nerdy college professor. Welcome to Cartoon College, today's subject is. And they bought it. The fun that I'm having as the voice of this network is I'm able to adjust my style of read to the cartoons. So I got Cartoon College. If I'm doing a man called Flintstone, I'm doing it like that. If I'm doing the Smurfs, I'm warm and fuzzy. By the way, you guys, and MeTVToons.com to find out where it is. Go to where the schedule is. Watch, guys. It's like waking up every day, 24/7, Saturday morning. That's what this network is.
Always Saturday morning. Shout out to Saturday morning. We're just gonna keep doing that the entire panel.
Will there be cereal?
I hope.
Bring your cereal.
Pajamas?
Let's take a look at. We've got a clip of Cartoon College actually. So let's see what it's all about.
I get a residual.
Welcome to Cartoon College. Today's subject is Bugs Bunny by 5 directors. Even the Looney Tunes creators themselves acknowledge that Bugs Bunny was not conceived by one individual. The world-famous Wabbit came about, film by film, idea by idea, by many hands at Warner Brothers' fabled Termite Terrace studio. After 3 previous rabbit hunting comedies by different directors, Tex Avery directed the first cartoon with the character we consider Bugs Bunny in 1940's A Wild Hare. He developed the rabbit's unflappable persona, casual carrot chomping, and the catchphrase, "Me, what's up, Doc?"
What's up, Doc? There's a wabbit down there, and I'm trying to catch him.
With the character's immediate popularity, all the directors were assigned to make Bugs Bunny cartoons, and it's interesting to study their unique individualistic styles. Bob Clampett's Bugs was wilder, prone to mania, and could be defeated by opponents due to, overconfidence.
Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go?
Chris Freeling presented Bugs as an unbeatable trickster, never losing his cool even when pitted against dangerous opponents.
I see you.
Chuck Jones decided that Bugs would only strike back when provoked.
What a dumb bunny. Of course you realize this means war.
Robert McKimson's Bugs usually reveled in slapstick gags. Frank Tashlin, Art Davis, not to mention the brilliant vocals by Mel Blanc, all had a big hand in creating the most popular cartoon star of all time. And, we ain't kidding, brother. Merry Melodies and more are on MeTV Toons.
You're out.
What do you get that malarkey? I'm safe.
I said you're out.
I'm safe.
You're out.
Safe.
Out.
Safe.
Out.
Safe. Out. Safe. Out.
Safe.
Out.
Safe.
Out.
Safe.
Out.
I say you're safe. If you don't like it, you can go to the showers.
Okay then, Doc. Have it your way. I'm safe.
Looney Tunes and more are on MeTV Toons.
I used to try that Bugs trick all the time on my kids. Every once in a while it would work, but that is classic. Yeah, so those quick sticks that we saw at the end too, sort of great moments. How are you guys selecting those?
Oh, how are we selecting which pieces to use? Well, we know the cartoons, we love the cartoons, and we come up with pieces that we think would work like that. Jerry has selected some of them. We have some other editors and people on our staff that are looking at the cartoons and picking them out. And we have hundreds of them, and everyone is working really, really hard. This is the hardest network we've ever launched of our 9 networks, but everybody is loving it so much that, they're kind of crying with one eye and laughing with at the same time.
Yeah, and Jerry, those are entertaining, and I really learn a lot from these pieces as well. What was sort of your goal in sort of deciding, what Cartoon College would tackle?
Well, I have to say I got free reign to come up with anything I can come up with, and I can't believe it myself sometimes that I make up some new thing that makes sense for one of these. I aim for what is something that either is iconic or something people know about the cartoons, and kind of start from there. Do they know who the directors are? Do they know, what this means in a cartoon? Whatever, I try to look for something, a question that I can answer in it. That's really where.
Well, you kind of touched upon the stuff that we saw as kids, open that door.
Yeah.
You notice I didn't say Richard.
Yeah.
I didn't question when I was a kid, what does that mean? I thought, that's funny, but you told us what it meant.
Yeah, You know, you
I'm
record
learning.
that.
I know, and I'm learning stuff on the job. It's great.
Yeah. No, that's really a trick. And the thing is, I've learned that throughout the years that the more you know about everything, pop culture, social, the world at the time in 1948, the more you know about what was going on when these cartoons were made, the funnier the cartoons are. They use pop tunes from that year on the score. You know, they refer to things that were in the news at that time. You know, these cartoons are so classic, they play beyond that time. We can enjoy them without knowing any of these references. Knowing the references, though, make it even funnier.
Well, Eric, Jeff, and Candy, I want to bring you into the conversation as well, because we are talking about classic cartoons and sort of iconic moments in animation. And so I want to get your perspectives on maybe what you're excited to see or what brings you back. And maybe, Eric, we'll start with you. You know, an iconic favorite cartoon character from history that still sort of drives you.
I mean, Bugs Bunny, for sure, for me, was the king of Saturday morning. Anytime he was put up against anyone, you were always rooting for Bugs. He was just a humble little rabbit trying to enjoy his day. And anywhere from opera singers to hunters and Yosemite Sams would try to foil him and off to the races. And now we get to find these on MeTV Toons, carefully handpicked by the programmers, and you could really tell some thought and especially some heart was put into how we're seeing them.
And that's, I mean, again, for all of you, it's got to be just wild to have grown up with these characters and now for them to be a part of your lives and to voice these characters to some degree. I mean, you got to all still be pinching yourselves that you're able to do this.
It's like saying thanks to the Mel Blancs and the Dawes Butlers and the June Forays, being able to, If it weren't for them, I would be driving you to your hotels in an Uber later.
But with funny voices. So
Sometimes, Doc, yeah.
Jeff, how about you? Your sort of your go-to iconic character, favorite character.
Well, I would have to say the rabbit, Doc.
And of course, it would be Fred Flintstone. Yabba dabba doo!
He's right there. Fred Flintstone is right there.
Yeah, but where's your pal, Barney Rubble?
And your dog, Dino.
I mean, there's so many great cartoons on MeTV Toons now. I mean, I feel like it's my entire diet as a child. And like, depending on what I'm watching, if I'm watching Yogi or Yogi Barney, or Huckleberry Hound or Speed Racer, like I could tell you what I was eating, when like cheese doodles and chocolate milk. So it's so exciting to see like your entire life, in a block of time. And MeTV Toons, I think, is the only network really ever that has this many cartoon properties. Am I right about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, when we were kids, we had to like keep switching the dial and figuring out. Remember when we would get the TV guide and every year figure out like, okay, I'm going to be watching this channel at this time, but then I'm going to flip to another one. And all those shows now in one place is pretty cool. Candy, how about you?
First of all, so happy to be here. It's not as easy for women in the industry as it is for men. And I will tell you, I am so honored to take over the mantle for June Foray, who was a firecracker and funny and tiny and white go-go boots. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm watching MeTV Toons in the morning, but I'm seeing my childhood restored, curated, brighter, ever, because we had a crummy TV. I grew up really poor. I mean, my little brother was the antler holder, like he would hold the antenna, and my older brother would designate one of us to switch the channel, and if you messed up, you had to wait until summer reruns to see it again. And life has gone from waiting for summer reruns to apps and pop-up ads, and you have to do this and you have to pay for this and you can only see a portion of it, and then somebody talking through with their commentary. I feel like I'm 7 years old with my Captain Crunch, sitting on the sofa being either Marvin the Martian or
hello, Sylvester. Tweety.
Yeah.
So lovely to be here, don't you know? Drop it! Drop it!
So it's been great, and Witch Hazel and all the other characters that I look forward to seeing on MeTV Toons in a way I've never in my life been able to see them before. Crisp, clean, restored, curated, cut the way we like it, with commercials about bathtubs and life insurance. I'm ready for it, because it used to be all sugar back then, baby. Kool-Aid, bopping through, and Sugar Smacks and Captain Crunch.
What was your cereal that you had?
Oh, it was Captain Crunch
Me
cutting
too,
the inside of my mouth.
Scraping the roof of your mouth.
Thank you.
Captain Crunch cereal.
Yeah, that's right, because I couldn't wait for it to get soft. Because
But
you couldn't in my family, too.
Here's the big question, with Crunch Berries or without?
Oh.
Without.
It's very controversial.
No, but if your mother bought you the Crunch Berry box, you get all the Crunch Berries before your siblings get the box. Yeah. Why'd they buy it without the Crunch Berries? I don't know.
Or you eat the Captain Crunch first, you save all the Crunch Berries for the end. And it's
There you
oh.
That's an only child's move.
So cut up by that.
That's an only child move. You're with my family, you'd be lucky to get a spoon. That's it. Like, run, and then get your spot on the sofa.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about Saturday morning. Bob, we're talking cereal, but what do you remember about Saturday mornings for you? How early would you get up? How did you plan your day? What was your Saturday morning strategy?
I think Candy kind of talked about this. You knew what the schedule was going to be. You know that you had Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Before the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show, before the Funky Phantom, and possibly a few years later the Globetrotters. I mean, you just knew that was your schedule. And I would get up before my parents got up, and probably like you guys, I would be sitting in front of the TV watching these amazing cartoons, but mimicking the cartoons back to the cartoons. So, you know, was it Robin Hood Daffy?
Oh, cut it out. I'm serious. If you don't know where Robin Hood is, you just say so.
And so it was not just entertainment, it was cartoon college for me. It really was.
It's come full circle.
It has indeed.
Yeah.
Serendipitous.
Eric, how about you? What was your Saturday morning strategy?
Yeah, 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Oftentimes, if not Looney Tunes,
Woody Woodpecker.
yeah. I think I just hurt my back doing that. It's a hard laugh, but I should have did my sit-ups. But yeah, there were so many great shows, and oftentimes, like before MeTV Toons, when it was just on MeTV, Billy and Tooney were kind of like what we grew up with. If you were like in a local part of the country where there would be a human host and his puppet co-host, that was like. I was in Toronto, Canada, and we would get Buffalo, New York, or Rochester, the feed. So there would be Commander Tom. He was the weatherman in Buffalo, and he would dress up as an astronaut. And I'd be like, what am I watching? Why do I like it? But yeah, it's kind of like hearkening back to those days, and oftentimes Woody Woodpecker, Bugs Bunny and Tweety show, you know, those were my versions of going to the gym, is watching an hour of those instead. Clearly, I'm not an athlete. I don't know if you can tell.
But you're right, like that includes like the afternoon cartoon blocks on a lot of independent TV stations that would oftentimes have those hosts. And I do love, again, Neil, that MeTV is keeping that local host spirit alive with hosts like Svengoolie and with their, yeah.
Thank you. And the idea behind Tune In With Me, it's interesting, we get some comments of it from people complaining, these aren't subjects kids would be interested in, and I'm saying exactly, this show is not for kids, Tune In With Me. It is for the kids who are no longer kids, who remember that format. And yeah, kids can come along and watch, but it's for adults. And according to Nielsen and the ratings, we have very few kids watching MeTV Toons. It's all adults.
Yeah. Which is why the characters can continue to be pantsless, which I think is a great decision. But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, so we talk about Saturday morning, but you know, also want to talk a little bit about the golden age of animation, which is something that MeTV Toons is really leaning into as well. And you know, Jerry, maybe we could talk a little bit about the creative giants of that era, and you know, how they're sort of now going to be really represented on MeTV Toons.
Well, I mean, animation, the golden age of animation, the great directors, Tex Avery, Chuck Jones, Bob Clampett. You know, I mean, as time goes on, I've seen, you know, that the classic cartoons get less and less play, less and less people know of them. I teach, and the students don't even know who some of those great directors are. So I think we're doing a real public service here, having these the classics back and looking better than ever on this channel. You know, my goal is to keep those cartoons in front of people, and so that those cartoons are not forgotten, and the filmmakers behind them as well. They're classics, they're works of art, they're entertainment. You can watch them over and over again. I mean, it's something we shouldn't, you know, forget. And luckily, this is part of keeping it alive.
Yeah, and what's great is even, you know, I remember growing up watching these cartoons and seeing these names, these iconic names that we still all remember, you know, the Chuck Jones, the Friz Freelings, you know, all the folks, the Tex Averys, whose names became a part of our lives as well. And that, of course, includes the vocal talents. We've talked a little bit about them, of course, Mel Blanc being the sort of, you know, the pantheon, the king of all of this. But, you know, Bob, was there other stars that sort of inspired you, especially as a kid, or as you decided you wanted to pursue this field, that were inspirations growing up?
I was really lucky that I got to study cartoon voiceover with Dawes Butler. And if you don't know Dawes, Google him. He was all the voices Mel Blanc wasn't. He was Yogi Bear and Huckleberry Hound and Elroy Jetson, Snagglepuss, and Dawes gave me nuggets as a teacher that I pass on to my students, one of which is that if you physically play the character, the voice will follow. You could watch Dawes or Mel or June doing these characters and without any sound, just by looking at them. You could see Dawes, when he would do Yogi Bear, he would stick his chest out, just like this, and his hands would be, and then he'd do Huckleberry Hound like this. So he taught me that it's not a voice, it's a character, it's acting. Physically playing the character, the voice will follow. June and I were neighbors and friends. But we're talking about the rock stars, the June Forets, the Dawes Butlers, the Mel Blancs, the Don Messick's, and I'll even add Frank Welker to that. Yeah. Frank Welker was the next generation of superstar. He still is. And these people up here on this stage, you know, there's a reason why we are blessed to do what we do. It's because this is our world, this is our life, and these are some of the most talented people actors. Forget cartoons, talented actors I've ever worked with in my life.
Yeah. A lot of love on this stage. Another icon, of course, that we've kind of alluded to, but you know, is really the centerpiece of this launch of MeTV Toons, is Bugs Bunny. Shout out to Bugs Bunny, come on. We clap, no passwords, we gotta clap for Bugs Bunny. Neil, tell us a little bit about sort of the strategy and the big celebration that you're undertaking for his birthday.
Well, Bugs Bunny is my favorite cartoon character, and I think I'm probably not alone in that. And he really, you know, he is the symbol of the whole Warner Brothers library, and probably one of Mel Blanc's greatest voice characterizations. And these guys here, it's scary how you guys do Bugs Bunny. It's scary.
Well, you're our favorite executive.
Oh.
I know we have several bugs on our stage. Which is
Yes, we do. We have the Battle of the Bugs. And we launched the network about 6 weeks ago, and the first event that we saw on the calendar coming up was that Bugs Bunny's birthday was going to be on July 27th. And we were really busy getting the network together, but we said this is important enough that we should try and get something special done for Bugs Bunny. And that means not just showing his best cartoons, but doing a special. So we created a special called Hairs to Bugs for his birthday, and the people up here on the stage, except for myself, are all in this show. So you're going to see them tomorrow. We're going to run the show, I think, 5 times during the day, plus run almost every Bugs Bunny cartoon that was produced over at least an 18-hour period, starting tomorrow morning, I believe, about 10 o'clock. Yes?
Well, what if you can't wait for tomorrow? What if you want
do
to
we
see
want
something
to show a little
today?
Like now.
Oh, is that allowed?
At
Comic-Con?
If one of the Bugses asks for it, how can we say no?
Oh, come on, Doc, please. Give us just a little bit.
Okay, well, there's both of them now.
I'm waiting for the Daffy documentary, really.
Yeah.
Jeff, what about me? Daffy Duck, star of the show.
I would like you all to calm the hell down. I mean it. I'll hit you with the umbrella. I will.
All suffer and suck it.
Ooh, there's a big old pretty cat in here.
Get any work
Tweety.
done.
Well, I know, but I'm gorgeous, I tell you. Gorgeous.
Hey, well, I say, what about me? I'm
Well,
about
now you see what you
bowling
did.
ball.
Well, look, he's a loudmouth schnook. Barnyard dog over here.
See, who needs therapy when you have cartoons?
Right. And when they're all in your head, it's a very good place to be.
That is the premise of our network.
Yeah.
This is a refuge. This is a celebration. This is a place where crazy is a good thing. But let's show a little scene.
Yeah, why don't we take a look? We've got
Roll
some
him,
now.
Smokey.
Friends, settle in for an epic tale. A rabbit's tale, and I don't mean the little white fluffy kind. On this day, many years ago, a bunny was born. But this bunny was different. He sang, he danced, he wisecracked, and he conquered the world. Bugs Bunny, of course. Bugs has been around a long time, but he's still in great shape. His eyesight's sharp as ever. Must be all those carrots.
What's up, Doc?
And as his close friends will share, it's a wascally wabbit's world. We just live in it. Hares to bugs.
Earth calling Bugs Bunny. Earth calling Bugs Bunny. Are you there? Are you there? Come in, Bugs Bunny. Over.
Who is Bugs Bunny?
Hello, Bugs Bunny, Private Eyeball.
I'm the B-19. I'm the rabbit.
I'll tell you who Bugs Bunny is. He's that wascally wabbit, and I'm gonna catch him.
Oh, Bugs is pure anarchy.
Pick up pie. Roger. Your pie, sir.
In a lovable way.
He's smart, he's sassy, he's sarcastic.
Gee, thanks.
He hosts the madness.
I'm just a humble little wabbit that lives in a hole in the ground, Doc. And all I do is eat carrots.
He is completely unflappable and unfazed, and he's just a great character.
Bugs Bunny is in that upper pantheon of the most recognizable cartoon characters in the world.
It's true, Doc. I'm a rabbit, all right. Ain't I, you stinker? You sure are, rabbit. Worth my documentary.
When I hear Bugs Bunny, it puts me back to being a 4 or 5-year-old kid. It's Saturday morning.
Bowl of Captain
Oh my
Crunch,
God, there they are.
Saturday morning.
Through a very bulbous black and white TV.
I make myself a nice glass of chocolate milk. I camp out on the couch. I'm hearing that theme song.
That was where I was first enchanted by the rabbit.
Ah, my public. How they love me.
What's up, Doc? There's a wabbit down here.
What's up, Doc? Was a very common phrase in Texas at the time. And Tex Avery was from Texas, hence the nickname Tex. And so Tex was the one who actually brought that.
As Bugs developed, especially with Mel Blanc's acting, he became a much richer, more subtle character.
Originally, it was very...
Right, what you talking about there? Yeah.
It shaped a little more into that, what Mel would often say, the Brooklyn and the Bronx.
That Bronx accent, really made the grade. It told you who this character was, why he was so street smart, why he was going to one-up you.
I think it is sort of a Brooklyn. Yeah, what's up, Doc? I think what Mel did was a sort of a Bronx.
What's up, Doc?
A New York, Upper East Coast.
What?
Don't tell me. I know. What's up, Doc? Rabbits!
Street hoodlum. Without the hoodlum.
I don't know of anyone who has that accent. Other than Bugs Bunny, of course.
Bugs Bunny without the voice would have been fine. Would have been an okay cartoon character. But with the voice, he became so three-dimensional, almost four-dimensional, that you had to love him.
Bugs Bunny conquered the screen. He conquered television. He's big on video games, comic books, everything.
Neil, you got some pretty smart people to participate in that, Doc, I gotta say.
And they're all good looking, aren't they, Michael?
They're very, very stunning people. Good.
Stunning, there's the word.
I mean, for all of you, I mean, Bugs Bunny, we've talked about how he's sort of the guiding force in inspiring a lot of you to first get into this business. But, looking back now, what does he mean to you? What has that character meant to you, both personally but also professionally? And Eric, we talked a little bit ago about how pinching yourself that you're actually now doing this voice. But, what has Bugs Bunny meant to you?
It's just, he's like a hero. Even before becoming a voiceover artist, I entered animation and entertainment as a character layout artist. So I would actually, on Saturday mornings, record these cartoons, often Bugs Bunny cartoon shorts, and I would pause the short, and in different poses I would copy the drawings of Bugs, not just the voice. So if you're talking about introductions to my career in this world, Bugs was the guy that not only personality-wise influenced me, but on an artistic level was the guy that kind of got me in the door. So.
And actually, as they pass that out, if people want to start lining up, if you have questions for our esteemed panelists, please start to line up, and we'll be getting to you in the moment. But Jeff, in the documentary, actually, you tell a little bit of the story that I alluded to at the very start of this, how you first met Mel Blanc. But for folks here who haven't heard that story yet, maybe tell us about, because it is such a fun, interesting origin story on how you first got to meet Mel Blanc and were inspired by him.
Well, I met Mel Blanc back in 1980, and he was giving a college lecture. And I found out where he was staying, and I followed him back to his hotel room and knocked on his door about 10 o'clock at night. I don't know how I had the nerve to do that. And then I heard a voice that sounded like this. Oh, well, just a jiffy. Wow. And I thought, okay, I think I got the right room. And he opened the door, and he was a very diminutive man in size, as you all know on the panel. And I said, Mr. Blanc, I saw your lecture. I'm one of your biggest fans. Please, if I could just spend 3 minutes with you, I promise I won't hurt you. And so he said to me, are you Jewish or Italian? And I said, I'm Jewish. And he said, all right, come on in. So we spent about 45 minutes together, and that was the beginning of the whole trajectory of my career. And then I never would have imagined, because I never thought about it as a child doing cartoon voices. But then 8 years later, I'd be directed by Chuck Jones as Bugs and Daffy. So
8 years later.
Yeah, it was 8 years later. Yeah, and he was the guy that created Daffy Duck. So I would say that it has meant so much in my life, and Bugs is the character I've done the most. It's the most recordings, the most times I've recorded Bugs. So yeah, meant everything.
That is an open invitation to follow any one of us back to our hotel rooms tonight so we can help launch your careers in animation.
I was going to say, if there's anything you learned today, it's stalking pays off. I don't know. Strike that.
Light stalking.
And you'll hear that story on MeTV Toons. Yes. So again, check that out. But why don't we get to some of our audience questions right now? So first up,
we have Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
That's an amazing costume.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I thought I would just ask, considering a lot of you might have grown up with the Jay Ward cartoons, what's your favourite Jay Ward cartoon segment that has sort of stuck with you to this day?
I'm a huge Fractured Fairy Tales. I mean, that was like, you know, Bugs for me, it was like my sense of humor. And it's what allowed me to audition for many things because art directors set the pace of so the Chuck Joneses and everything, they're not necessarily drawing everything. They're setting the pace of the action, setting the pace of the jokes. And growing up with Bugs Bunny as the Johnny Carson of cartoons, I really got that vibe and got that. And I also got it from, and I got my silliness from Fractured Fairy Tales. And I think the Rapunzel one, which is June Foray, which I take very seriously, was one of the great ones. And I think they complemented one another. And you know that, you know, Bullwinkle and all of that started under that. And I know that Jay Ward's family is still around, and we got to get all of that over on MeTV Toons. So let's have everybody watching so they got some dough to buy some more stuff. Right? But yeah, I'm a huge
we have Bullwinkle and all those ancillary cartoons.
Yes.
All in one place. Candy, real quick, I was remiss in asking you, I wanted to get a little more of your origin story, because I know your first job, actually, I think was Tiny Toons.
My first audition also was Tiny Toon Adventures. And thank you. And I think what helped me, Michael, was that when I walked in, it was Bugs Bunny. It really was. What Steven Spielberg created was the shrunken down version of Looney Tunes. And Bugs was a very big part of that. And what was super great about it was that I had been studying it since I was 6 years old. And I resonated to that rhythm and that funniness. And so when I walked in and they had a joke that was, hello, nice, not only did I understand that it wasn't nurse, but that it was nice, and that I understood it. I was also a huge fan of the Three Stooges and the Marx Brothers. So that's what, you know, and
that rhythm and timing.
Yeah, and it's all that 1940s, and I call it cartoon jazz. It's just a feeling of it. And to be a female that understood what it was like to be a stand-up through Bugs Bunny is the reason I'm still around today, still doing cartoons.
Thank you, Harley Quinn.
I see Yosemite Sam in the audience. He's approaching. There he is. Come up here, Fred. Come on up here, buddy.
Fred Tatasciore, ladies
and
gentlemen.
Fred Tatasciore just entered the chat.
Hey, next question.
How's it going, everyone?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, and I apologize for asking this curveball of a question, but name an obscure cartoon you would like to see come to MeTV Toons.
Ooh.
An obscure cartoon?
Yes, just anything on the back of your head.
A deep cut.
Mighty Dog.
What's yours?
Yeah, what's yours?
Yeah, what's yours? I know this is a Hasbro franchise, but Gem and the Holograms.
We're sorry we asked you.
No. That's truly outrageous.
Truly outrageous.
See what I did there?
How about the rest of you? Any deep cuts?
Man, it's a tough one. Because there are some that I'm watching now that I didn't know that exist on MeTV Toons.
Right.
So I'm hoping one day that Johnny's Cipher in Dimensions.
Johnny. There it is.
That'll probably happen.
Yeah, it's here to make all your wishes come true.
Because
so say it out loud.
Aside from some of the Golden Age, we're on MeTV Toons. There's also stuff like Freakazoid, which is now entering a renaissance of its own. So,
how about the Archies? Do you guys have the Archies?
We have not done that yet.
You have not? Okay, I hope I get that.
Who has the Archies? Do you know there's a cream for that?
I would love to see Spider-Man, circa 1960-ish.
60 Spider-Man.
And
the Ralph Bakshi's.
And I would love to see Muppet Babies from the 80s.
Ah, waka waka!
It's not obscure, but anything droopy, I would love to see.
Yeah.
You guys, and Super
there's a
Chicken.
cream
Anyone remember Super Chicken?
Yeah, Super Chicken.
Michael, part of what my job is I am a super fan and love animation, but I'm also a businessman and run the network. So I have to balance the realities of this is a new network, which costs a lot of money to launch and is costing a lot of money to sustain, with the desire to have everything. And we are in a marathon, not a sprint. Everything can't be on at once. We have to parse it out too to keep people interested in what we're doing. That's part of a programming strategy. And it's that balancing that I do, and I love hearing from people about the cartoons they want to see. It helps us to know what the audience wants, and it's just terrific that you're all here today in support of our network and in what we're doing, and tell your friends and get an antenna.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, and if you don't know where to find it in your neighborhood, you can go to MeTV.com.
MeTVToons.com.
MeTVToons.com. Pop in your zip code and it'll tell you how to get on and watch us.
Also, guys, there are so many really cool Facebook MeTV Toons group pages. Join, converse. And people are talking about, oh my gosh, did you see Casper last night? I did see Casper. Oh, did you see Speed Racer? Wait, they've got Speed Racer. It is so much fun to watch everybody so enthusiastic about this network.
We have another question up here.
Hi, I know you guys have the Silverhawks license to air later on, I would assume. I was wondering if you're pursuing Thundercats, and if you are, please push them for an HD upgrade.
I will do that. I will ask. I can't promise. Warner Brothers has their list of priorities on what they're going to do, but the things that we request get pushed to the front of the line usually. And we have certain slots that are available for those kinds of cartoons, and we'll be switching things in and out. And it's interesting because some things they can't find materials for, like the Smurfs they found, but the Snorks they can't find, but it's out on home video, so it's like, what's going on? And if I could spend my entire day doing this, I would do this, but in tracking this stuff down, but I will put that one in my mental list. Thank you.
Thank you.
But only at Comic-Con do you hear things like, are you pursuing Thundercats?
And Snorks.
What about Snorks?
Or also, we learned that the Snorks is missing. Someone find the original copy.
It's like the Smurfs, but underwater.
Right.
That's right.
Next question.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, good afternoon. Glad to see y'all here. I love the classic cartoons and comics and everything. And I heard you have, too many I can think of. But I listened to when you showed out the Flintstones. All right, are you going to have the Jetsons with them?
Oh, yeah.
It's on the Jetsons?
Yes.
The Jetsons are on now every day, Monday through Friday in the late afternoon, and we're running not only the original 24 that we run on MeTV right now, but we have all the ones that were made in the 1980s as well. So the whole series.
One more. Okay, I know a lot of people don't know, but Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh my God.
Thundar the Barbarian.
I can't remember if that's in our library or not.
Ruby Spears, I think.
Yeah, it is. Then we probably do have that.
Yeah, so I am very looking forward to looking at your network, because it brings back the child memories. Oh, I guess y'all are a little bit rich. Y'all got to have Captain Crunch. Archery.
If you all look under your seats, there's a bowl of Captain Crunch. I can't tell you how long it's been there. There is a bowl of something under there.
Ours is cornflakes and bananas, okay? So that was okay.
Cornflakes and bananas.
Thank you for your
It's
question.
great.
Thank you.
We got time for at least one more.
Oh, a couple more.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. As many fans of the old cartoons get sometimes tired or turned away from the new cartoons, how do you maintain the heart of the original creators when you're continuing to voice these classic characters in today's cartoons?
You're asking the voice actors?
Yeah.
It's a great question. I'm only speaking for myself. I'm not Mel Blanc. I never will be Mel Blanc. Mel Blanc was a legend. He was an original. He was the best. What I try to do is to uphold the integrity of the character. I don't even attempt to try to be as good as he. Every once in a while, I mean, Candy and Jeff and Eric and I were lucky enough to do this thing called Looney Tunes Cartoons, which was like the first. I mean, I've been doing these voices for 34 years, but it was like they resurrected Bob Clampett, and we're doing stuff that we hadn't done with this franchise in all this time. We've done Duck Dodgers, which was wonderful. Chuck Jonesy, but man, it's all about the writing. If it's not on the page, it's not going to come out of our mouths or on the microphone. So we've been blessed with some really, really good material to work with.
Let me add on to that, Bobby. I think that one of the great things about the classic voices and the classic cartoons is that they are really unbelievable stories, well told by your June Foray's, by your Mel Blancs, and we are now using our voices and our talents to retell these great stories. And that's what the great thing about classic cartoons are, is that it's great storytelling. And that's our job, not so much to match, although we try, and we do the best that we can to honor those who came before us, but we find some way to give a great story.
Yeah. You know, and I think the better the character is, the more interesting the character is, the more we have to grab onto, because their essence is really what lives on. I think Eric made mention of this, and both Bob, that Daffy's probably always going to be Daffy, and Bugs will be Bugs, and so forth. And so we're lucky that we have so much to reference, whereas they were doing it, you know, as they were learning as they were going along, you know. So in that sense, maybe our job, I won't say it's easier, but we have a lot to refer to, you know.
In more modern times, you could see them, in a shoe commercial or a reboot movie, but it's the world around them that changes, but we always make sure that the Looney Tunes integrity and who they are stay the same. Like, that's never tampered with.
Yeah.
And by the way, the other great character in all cartoons, especially what they're showing on MeTV Toons, is the music. The theme songs.
Yeah.
Dooby-dooby-doo, where are you? I mean, that gets a sense of memory. Carl Stalling in the classic Looney Tunes, those are characters. The music were as much a character or characters as the voice actors.
It's so true, it is a character. I mean, if I said to you, can you hum like one bar of the theme of the Flintstones or the Jetsons? You probably can.
Or as Greg would go, da 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 da. No, I was doing the first season of the Flintstones, which stopped because it sounded too much like the Bugs Bunny show.
Right. Oh, that's why he's Cartoon College. There you go.
Hazel. Dun 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 dun. You're right. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Wow, that's very.
There's another seat up here if you
We have time for one more question.
Like, I'm really honored to see everybody on the stage here.
Hey, it's Matthew Lillard. How's it going, man?
Like, I'm really doing good. Just to help celebrate my Hanna-Barbera brethren. What's your favorite Hanna-Barbera show that you like to watch in any age?
Yeah, man, I'd have to say possibly Johnny Quest. I've done Dr. Quest before. Johnny, Haji, we have to follow Race. He's there to protect us.
I would say two stupid dogs, only because I'm on it.
Oh man, I was gonna wear my two stupid dogs.
SWAT cats, because I'm on it.
SWAT cats, yeah.
Classic. Radical Squadron.
I would have to say probably the Jetsons. George Jetson and Mr. Spacely. Jetson, don't move. I want to remember you just as you are. Fired!
Well, let's
I
take.
love Scooby-Doo.
There you go. Before we head out, let's take one more look at MeTV Toons. Got a teaser video right now.
Quiet, gentlemen, I have something important to announce.
You'll see some signs around about the...
Entertainment!
Did you hear what he said?
Roll 'em.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
My name is Casper.
He is a beloved character.
Oh, this is my very favorite show. He never misses any of them.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like. We're on.
I hope you enjoyed that audio as much as I did. Thank you, Manny, for covering Comic-Con for This Means Podcast this year. And you can follow Manny over at the Tooney Tenor across all social media. I love the fact that we're celebrating Bugs Bunny the right way. We have a new documentary that's perfect for the character known for saying, "What's up, Doc?" Getting a new Doc. I love it. And also, I just wanted to shout out the fantastic work that went into this, because they went out and they even brought in the producer of the new Looney Tunes series, Looney Tunes cartoons, Alex Kerwan, to talk about Bugs Bunny and the history of the characters with the voice actors, with the talent behind the camera, behind the mic. I just think that is phenomenal research, and they really know what they're doing. They really appreciate the character for who he is, what he stands for, and now more than ever, these characters are very important, especially with understanding the foundation of animation, how we got to where we are. And it's important to look back, know where we're from, so we can see what's possible going forward. I've been Jonathan Graves, your host, and I hope you enjoyed this really crazy episode of the podcast where we just got to listen to the full panel with fantastic voice actors alongside animation historian Jerry Beck and the wonderful brain behind this entire MeTV network, Neil Saban. Just across the board, there's just such a wonderful dedication going on for, you know, this reinvigoration for classic animation. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And as always, that's not all, folks. The documentary asks the question to each of the panelists, what 3 words would you use to describe Bugs Bunny? And I'm posing that to you, dear listeners. What 3 words would you use to describe the rabbit? Put them in the comments below. And happy birthday, Bugs.